If you are at all interested in personal development, you probably are familiar with names like Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, Tim Ferriss or Seth Godin. And as you may quickly realize, these are all guys. In fact, the entire personal development niche seems to be pretty male dominated. So the question is, where are all the women? This is what we are gonna uncover today. In today's video, I am ranking the top 5 women that you can turn to for personal growth. Check it out. And we are jumping right into our top 5 list, starting with professional motivational speaker Mel Robbins. Now, Mel was originally a CNN commentator and only pretty recently got into personal development as a profession. She did a TED Talk in 2011 called Stop Screwing Yourself Over that became wildly popular and gained more than 15 million views up until today. Out of that TED Talk came a book that Mel Robbins wrote called The 5-Second Rule, and since that publication she has been working as a coach and professional speaker ever since. Her advice reaches all the way from finances over relationships to getting shit done, and I highly recommend that you check out some of her YouTube videos because they're really entertaining and she really gets straight to the point, which I really like.
And here's the deal. I don't want it to sound good to other people. Being healthy will not get your ass on a treadmill. Losing your man boobs so you could hook up with somebody, now that's motivation.
Next on the list, we have a woman who didn't even want to work with personal development, but ended up inspiring millions of people around the globe. She is a research professor and has been studying topics like shame, vulnerability, and empathy for decades. And her name is Brené Brown. So far, Brené Brown has written 4 books all about the research topics that I just mentioned, and all of them turned into New York Times bestsellers. Soon there is also a 5th book coming up. On top of that, Brené Brown also has one of the top 5 most popular TED Talks of all time, where she talks about vulnerability.
And so these folks had, very simply, the courage to be imperfect. They had the compassion to be kind to themselves first and then to others, because as it turns out, we can't practice compassion with other people if we can't treat ourselves kindly. And the last was they had connection, and this was the hard part, as a result of authenticity.
Now, Brené Brown might not be the typical personal development guru, but she certainly talks and writes and does research about topics that help people to become a better version of themselves. And in that sense, she helps millions of people to grow into the kind of person that they want to be. Next up, we have a woman who struggled at the beginning of her career, who worked as a dance instructor on the side to make ends meet, but by now has hundreds of thousands of fans on her blog, on her YouTube channel, and in her private coaching sessions. I am talking, of course, about Marie Forleo. Marie is probably the biggest female life coach out there, covering all sorts of topics. She helps you to create a brand, start your own business, but also to improve your relationships and live healthy. And she oftentimes delivers her advice in a really funny way.
Don't ever forget that you set the standard for what's okay and what's not okay in terms of how people behave around you. Oh! What she's trying to say is don't take no shit from nobody. If they don't shape up, you call me, I shape them up, no problem. Don't. Just trust me, don't call her.
On top of that, she gets the biggest names in the business to sit down and talk with her. I mean, really A-list people like Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, Ryan Holiday, Brené Brown. Yes, she was also there. So definitely go check out her website, check out her YouTube channel, and you're gonna find a lot of gems there. Number 4 on our list of women that you can turn to for personal growth is a professional writer. She wrote a bestseller back in 2006 that remained on the New York Times bestseller list for 199 weeks and later was turned into a movie with Julia Roberts starring as the main character.
If you could clear out all that space in your mind, you'd have a doorway. And you know what the universe would do? Rush in.
Do you know who I am talking about by now? I am of course talking about Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert is the author of the memoir Eat, Pray, Love, a huge bestseller where she described how she traveled to 3 different countries in order to find herself. Since then, Gilbert has written 2 more books, one called Committed, where she writes about making her peace with marriage, and then another book called Big Magic, where she describes her creative process and how you can become more creative as well. On top of that, she has been giving speeches, including a TED Talk with more than 3 million views, and she also has a video with Marie Forleo that I highly recommend you check out right up here. Alright guys, we have nearly reached the end of our top 5 list of women to turn to for personal growth, but there is still one person missing. And this person is not only one of the most famous TV hosts of the last couple of decades, but also one of the most successful business women of all times. I am talking about Oprah Winfrey. Almost anyone in the world knows the name Oprah Winfrey. And that is partly because of the crazy stunts that she has pulled in the past. But mostly it is because she is just so damn good at what she does. The Oprah Winfrey Show is the longest running and most successful TV talk show of all times. She also started a hugely successful and influential book club, and she is the head of her own production company. Through all of that, Oprah has managed to become the richest self-made woman in the United States, as well as the richest African American. In recent years, Oprah has admittedly slowed down a little bit, but she's still very much engaged when it comes to her favorite topics like reading, spirituality, and self-improvement.
I was one of those kids that made other kids sick because I was the first one to turn in the book report, and I was read the most books. And I would say reading is the strongest signal for success in the future that I've ever seen. It is the strongest. I got my first job in radio when I was 16 years old, because I've been broadcasting since I was 16 years old. But my first job I got because I was a great reader.
Just through what Oprah has accomplished in her career alone, she has inspired millions of people to reach for their dreams. She has shown to millions of people out there that it is in fact possible to overcome adversity and touch the life of countless others. Hopefully this video has inspired you to check out all of these amazing women. And if I have managed to inspire you a little bit, then feel free to subscribe down below so you get more videos just like this one in the near future. Until then, talk to you next time.